Shalom. And I'm going to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wachach Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the head apostles, and elders, a great millstone. And salutations to you, Wakim, that's out there listening. Push you for this word with truth and sincerity. And if you walk with us as well, that's listening with sincerity. Alright, today, just coming back at you guys through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And hey, we got to keep our vows, man. Okay, we have to keep our vows. All right, we have to keep our promises, especially the promises or the vows that we have made unto the Lord, man. Okay, because once you step your foot, in this truth, once you start plowing, you basically made that vow, man. The vow that, hey, you're gonna stay in this until the end. Okay, because this is not a thing that you come in it and then you stay in it for a while, then you leave. It doesn't work like that. Okay, once you step your foot in this, you basically made the vow, man. You made the vow that, hey, I'm serving the Lord now. Okay, and you have to stay in it until the end, because that's the quota, or may I say, the requirements of this truth, man. To stay in it until the end. Okay, but I want to get this in the law, basically how that the law says you're supposed to keep your vow, right? So this is Deuteronomy 23 and verse 21. It says, "When thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy power, thou shalt not slack to pay it. For the Lord thy power will surely require it of thee, and it would be sin in thee." You see, when you vow unto the Lord, man, don't slack to pay it, man. Okay, and the word vow is interchangeable with promise, because when you go into the definition, one of the words there is promise. Okay, a thing of promise or promise to the Most High, right? So don't be slack to pay the Lord, man. Don't be slack to do His work, man. You see, because once you, like I stated earlier, once you step your foot in it, you basically made a vow, man. Okay, and you gotta keep it. You gotta keep the vow, man. Right? That's why when that's why it's important also. Before you make a vow, you think about it first. You see, you have to think about it first. Before you say, oh yeah, I promise, Lord, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You gotta think about it first. Oh, I promise I'm gonna, you can't just be throwing words around of things that you're gonna do for the Lord and then you don't do it. Okay? Yeah, that's where scriptures speak about counting the costs. Right? You gotta count the costs, man. Let's read this. This is Luke 14 in verse 28. It says, "For which of you attending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the costs, whether he have sufficient to finish it?" Right? When you're about to build, okay? Or you may look at these architects when they're about to build a house. They look first if they have enough material, enough wood, enough nails, enough tools to build the house, right? So likewise, before you step your foot into the truth, you gotta see, is this for me? Right? You gotta count the costs. Am I in this to stand to the end? Am I ready to sacrifice my life for the Lord, to serve the Lord, and get a reward at the end? Am I ready to suffer hell on this side? Right? Well, these other people, they quote so-called prosper, you could say, which really they're not prospering, because this is really a burning building as we speak. Okay, this world is coming, it's this current rulership is going down faster than ever. Okay? But yeah, you gotta count the costs. Right? Whether you have sufficient to finish it. That's basically thinking before you make a vow. Right? Let's say you promise to someone, oh, I promise, bro, I'm gonna pick you up tomorrow, man. Don't worry, man. I'll pick you up tomorrow at this time, that, the third. And then you don't show up. Right? Right? You didn't show up, man. You didn't show up to do what you were supposed to do. You made the promise, you made the vow, but you don't show up. That means you didn't count the cost, man. You see? Verse 29, it says, "Lest haply, after he hath laid the foundation, and is not able to finish, all that behold it began to mock him, saying, This man began to build, and was not able to finish. Yeah, and that's gonna be the end result of you not finishing what you said you were going to do, man. You see, now you're gonna be made a laughing stock. Now you're gonna be mocked at, man. Saying you began to build and was not able to finish, right? And you come into the truth, you know, you're all fervent, you're doing the work, and then now you see, oh, yeah, nothing's really happening, man. Shit, I see my friends in the world, man. They got this, that, the third. I want to be like them. Fuck this shit. Then you decide to go back. Your friends are gonna start looking at you weird now. Okay? They're gonna start looking at you weird. What happened to that? Weren't you a pastor before? What happened? Right? Now you put Yahushua to open shame. You see? That's why it's important to count the cost, man. A vow is very serious, especially when you come into the truth. Like I stated earlier, you're basically making a vow unto the Lord, man. Right? So back to Deuteronomy 23. In verse 22 it says, "But if thou shalt forbear to vow, it shall be no sin in thee." Yeah. If you forbear to vow, hey, there's no sin. Right? Because he actually thought about it. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna do this because I'm not ready for that. Let me not make any promise that I'm not able to keep. You see, that's why it speaks about, I think what that's in First Peter's, referring to the truth, how that it would better for you not to have known the truth than to have known it than to go back into the world, man. You see, what better that you forbear to come into the truth, lest it be sin in thee, you decide to go back to the world, man. Right? Verse 23 says, "That which is gone out of thy lips, thou shalt keep to perform." You see, that which is gone out thy lips, you're gonna keep to perform, man. If you say you're gonna do something, if you make a particular promise to somebody, man, keep it, man. Be a man of integrity, man. Okay? The men of the Lord, they're men of integrity. All right? You can't give these people accusation fuel to accuse you. Right? You say you're gonna do this for a particular person, and you don't show up. How do you think you're gonna look like in the eyes of that person, man? Now they have something to accuse you of. Right? Now in the future, when you make another promise, they're not gonna believe you because last time you didn't keep your word. You didn't show up. Right? Last time when you said, "Oh, I'm gonna do this for you, that, the third, I'm gonna fix that for you," whatever. You know, whatever promises that you made, you don't keep it. Right? Or I'm pay you tomorrow, bro. Don't worry. You know, things of that nature or whatever. Right? And then you don't do it. Now you don't look like you're a man of integrity. You see? How much more in the truth, man? Right? You come in and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm in this till the end, man. I can't wait till I get in the shit, man." You know? Then you decide to go back to the world. How do you think the Lord's looking at you now, man? Right? You think he's gonna take you back? The first time when you made the promise, you didn't keep it. So you think the Lord's gonna think that you're gonna keep it the second time? Come on, man. You gotta keep the vow, man. You know what? Let's get this real quick in Ecclesiastes 5. Okay? This is Ecclesiastes 5. In verse 2 it says, "Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. For the Most High power is in heaven, and thou upon earth, therefore let thy words be few." Oh, Salakia. It's in verse 4. I'm going to jump down to verse 4. This is the point that I wanted to get, really. It says, "When thou vowest a vow unto the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, defer not to pay it. For he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed." Basically, ties in perfectly with Deuteronomy 23 and 21, man. Right? When you vow, pay it. Be not slack to pay it. Okay? Because the Most High doesn't have pleasure in fools, man. Fools may make vain promises that they're not going to keep, man. All right? It says, "Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better it is that thou shouldest not vow than thou shouldest vow and not pay." Yeah, it's better that you have not vowed, man. Deuteronomy said the same thing. It's better that you forbear, lest it's a sin in thee. Right? I know I quoted this earlier, but I want to get this in Second Peter's, man. I think it's Second Peter's, either Second Peter's or First Peter's, where it speaks about how that we're better that you have not known the truth than to have known it and go back into the world. Not known. All right. Let's see here. Yes, this is Second Peter's 2. In verse, let's start at verse 20. It says, For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and our Savior, Yahweh HaMashiach, they are again entangled therein and overcome. The latter end is worse with them than the beginning. Right? If you come into the truth, right, now, you come in, right, you start being cleansed by the word, right? And then what? You decide to go back into the world. You're entangled again to the pollutions of the world. Your latter end is going to be worse than the beginning. Because what? 7 more demons are going to come upon you, man. It speaks about that in Matthew, right? It says, verse 21, For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they have known it to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. See, it would better for you not to have known the truth. In other words, it would better that you have not vowed. It would better that you have not come into the truth in the first place than to have known the way of righteousness, then you decide to go back. Here it is, this is the right path. This is the path that leads to salvation. But nah, I'm going to go to the path of death instead. Right? That's basically that's basically what happens when you decide to take your hand away from the plow, to go back into the world. You decide to go back to the path of death, man. You see? So it would better for you not to have known, man. Right? Because prior when you because if you know the right way, right? Here it is. You have 2 ways in front of you. You know the right way. You're walking in the right way, but you decide to go back the opposite way, man. Right? It's better that you didn't even know there was a right way. Okay? Because that means that you just didn't know. But since now you know, and you decide to go back, hey, come on, man. Come on. It doesn't work like that. You see? There was a bit more in that Deuteronomy that I want to get. Deuteronomy 23 and verse 23, it says, that which is gone on thy lips, thou shalt keep to perform. Yeah. That which is gone out your lips, you got to keep and perform it, man. Be a man of integrity. Be blameless. Okay? It says, even a freewill offering according as thou hast vowed unto the Lord Yahweh Hashem thy power, which thou hast promised with thy mouth. Yeah, back then when you would make, a promise, I'm gonna give this amount of a free will offering. I got more increase this year in my field. I'm gonna give this unto the Lord, this amount. Hey, you gotta make sure you give that amount, man. Okay, especially if it came out your lips. You told the Lord that you're gonna do it, right? But here it is, the Lord is testing you now. Now he made it that something thief came in and then took a certain percentage of your crops, right? And then now you're like, oh shit, yo, you know what, man? Let me take a little bit out the amount I put on the side to give as a free will, right? You decide to do that now. Now hey, you're being slack to pay what you have vowed unto the Lord, man. You see? And the Lord does things like that, man. He tests you, man. Whenever you make a vow, man, whenever you say you're gonna do this, that, the third, man, he could put a monkey wrench in your plans to see how if you're gonna keep your word, right? Are you gonna be a man of integrity? Are you gonna keep your word? Okay, you gotta be able to keep your word, man. Don't say you're gonna do something and not do it. You see, which a prime example is the nation of our people, right? How that we said that we're going to keep all the laws of the Lord. Okay, when Moses sprinkled the blood upon us, we said all that has said we will do. And what did we do? We did not keep the laws. What was the after effect, you could say, for not keeping that vow, for not keeping that promise that we made unto the Lord? And we're living it today, man. We're living the punishment today. And how that, what happens when you decide not to keep a vow, man. You see? So a vow is very important, man. You gotta make sure you keep your vows, man. Whatever you say that you're gonna do, whatever promises that you make, even to people into the world, man. If you make a promise to somebody, make sure you keep that promise, man. So that they don't have any thing to accuse you of. Okay? So that they can put a stain on your image. Yo, he said he was gonna do this for me. This guy never did it, bro. Don't trust this guy. You know? You don't want that. You don't want that on your name, man. You don't want that stain on your name. Okay? Hey, so with that, man, I'm going to close it off there. All right? Giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bachachodash. Hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All right? Until next time, I'm going to say Shalom.